Hey everyone, Andrew here from a Tale of Two IGN's podcast. Yes, you are on the right feed, but no, this is not a normal show. I wanted to let you know right now that what you are about to hear is not suitable for work. It is likely also not appropriate for children. If you are sensitive to racy topics, go ahead and hit that delete button right now. You might not like this episode. But now that you've been warned, please welcome to a special RDH RANT Takeover episode with Heather, Anna, and Liz.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of RDH RANT Takeover. I am your host, Anna, and joining me today are the usual suspects, Liz and Heather. Guys, say hi.
Hi.
So on today's episode, we figure we talk about something that I call Oops, I Did It Again, which is basically you f***ed up really in the op, and you're embarrassed by it, but you're not ready to share it with the world. But today we're sharing it with the world. So
Yep. Yes.
have you guys ever done anything that is like, oh my God, I hate myself?
Yeah.
in the op.
Oh, well, that's every time I go to work, but
Yeah, that's all of us.
My big thing is dental dyslexia is what I call it. And it seems like I'm not the only person because going through our content, it looks like so many people have this where they say 22, but they mean 27, or they say 7 and
yeah.
they mean 10. And I mean, I've worked with dentists that do this, and it's never really been a really huge problem. One time we did numb up. We were going to work on, this is when I was in Perio, we're just going to do some localized scaling in some places. And I think I numbed up 7 and it was supposed to be 10, but 7 needed done anyway. So it ended up working out. So it wasn't like a big deal. So that's like one of the things that I struggle with. And I do that on x-rays too. Like if I think about x-rays too long, my brain shorts out.
Yeah.
If I sit there and think about too long, I'm like, wait, and then it flips into my head and then it flips it back over. It's kind of like I've got the same thing when I'm walking. I have the same thing when I'm walking upstairs. If I think too hard about what I'm doing when I'm walking upstairs, my brain's like, we don't know how to do this.
What?
I know.
And you have sharp objects that you work with. Okay.
I don't know. I just was like, my brain just fritzes out. I was like, no, you're thinking too hard. So anyway.
Well,
yeah.
I think the dental dyslexia is big. I mean, I felt like me personally, just growing up, I always flip-flop numbers. But definitely in dentistry, I do it. My bosses do it. And I know what she's talking about because I can see where she's at. And I'll just say, I'll just point to it on the chart or something, and she'll be like, yeah, you knew what I meant. Like, we can read each other's minds.
Yeah. Because the worst thing is trying to call your doctor out and being like, did you mean 13? You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to make your doctor look like a dumbass in front of the patient.
Well, and I feel like so I'm on one side of the building faces east. And if I have to go numb for the doctor on the other side of the building, which is west.
Oh my God! You know north, south, east, west by just standing there? I don't even know that. I can't. No way!
So,
if you told me north, I'd be like, where? Where am I? Just tell me, make a left at the McDonald's. That's how I know directions.
Okay.
Don't tell me
So
north,
anyway,
south.
I'm facing one way, and the other building faces the other. And I seriously have to sit there, and I know the assistants are staring at me like, what the hell's wrong with you? Because before I numb, I'm like, okay, wait, number 31, wait. I don't know where I'm at. Like, just because I'm facing a different direction, now I don't know my right from my left. And so I'll just sit there and pause. So I finally told the assistants, I'm like, if you see me just sitting there for a minute before I actually numb, just know I'm making sure I'm numbing the right one.
I've numbed the wrong side before.
I have too. I was going to say, I feel like that I can think of numbing the wrong side was probably my biggest fuck up, but the worst part was the patient knew.
Oh, I laughed about it with the patient. I was completely honest. I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm an asshole. I just numbed the wrong side.
Yeah.
So I'm really sorry.
My patient wasn't mad either, but it probably helped because we have a reversing agent that makes the numbing go away.
Oh,
almost, yeah.
Nice.
Makes it go away within 10, 15, 20 minutes.
That's awesome.
Oh, I don't know how people get work done without it.
That kind of happened to me. Like, this was before I was in dental. I had a tooth I used to work in management at the Disney store, and I had a wisdom tooth. I ended up having 2 sets of wisdom teeth. And so I thought they were gone, but then they came in and one of them abscessed, and it was a whole thing. So one of the people that I worked with, her husband was a dentist, and she said, "Come in on a Saturday and he'll take care of it for you." And I'm like, "Dope." This was back in 1998, guys, like 95, 98, something like that. So this is when stuff was filmed instead of digital. So I went in, and she was also his assistant sometimes, but not all the time. And I don't know if she was like actually licensed, but she took the x-ray and then she put it up on the little light thingy, and he looked at it, went in to start like trying to like numb me, or he numbed me, and then he went in, and I thought it was like, I don't know, he has to numb the whole mouth. I don't know how this works. I'm not in dentistry yet. And then he went to start to take like what are they called? The pliers or whatever, and like put them on the wrong tooth. And that's when I finally like spoke up. I was like, wait,
No,
wait.
I need that tooth.
Wait, did you say the pliers?
what are they called?
That's what I
was
call
never
them.
an assistant. Are they forceps?
Yeah,
Elevators?
forceps, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Elevators, yeah. that's all.
Elevators, yeah.
I don't know. Pliers, man. I am not.
Like a
I'm not an
jackhammer.
assistant. Yes, yes. He took the hammer and chisel to the wrong tooth. But anyway, so
Well,
I
that's
caught, and
a
I was
huge
like,
fuck up.
I was like, oh wait, that's not the right tooth. And then he like looked at his wife, and then like looked at the X-ray, and she goes, "Oh, sorry," and then just like flips it over. I was like, oh my God, okay. This is a coworker of mine, mind you. So
Well,
anyway,
someone said we call this toothlexia instead of dyslexia.
Mhm.
dyslexia.
But I think it's
Yeah.
pretty common.
Yeah. It was way more common than I thought when I was reading through.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was,
yeah.
I think, the number one mistake was, I numbed the wrong area. Or
Yeah.
I have
which-
a big one that I'd like to share. It's embarrassing, but I'm going to put myself
Ooh,
out there and
share
say
it.
it. Share it.
Spill it.
This
Spill
was
the
many,
tea.
many years ago. I was pretty new, well, not new as a dental hygienist, but I only been out of school for maybe like 5 years or so. But anyway, I was doing an SRP and an instrument broke in the pocket. So
Mm.
I sat there for like 15, 20 minutes, like trying to fish it out. I don't feel it. I was going in there with floss. I was going in there with my Explorer. I was going in there with my scalers. I couldn't feel anything. So I was using a high-speed suction at that time as I was doing the SRP, because it was just, I don't even know why I was. But anyway, so I had just assumed
It
that
got sucked up.
It got sucked up. It must have gotten sucked up.
Mhm.
I didn't think to take an x-ray, and I don't know why, but I was like, it must have gotten sucked up.
Yeah.
Well, 2 weeks later, the patient comes back for the other side with that instrument piece tip in his hand and was like, "You left this in my mouth." And I was like, "No, I didn't." I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "That's not our instruments. I don't know what that is." He's like,
Oh
"This,"
my God.
he's like, "This literally came out of my gums like a week later it came out. It must have been way up there. I have no idea." But I was so embarrassed. I got called into the office. My boss was like so mad. Yeah, that was a really, really humbling, embarrassing moment for me. And it was a huge fuck up, because that could be like someone's, like, God forbid he swallowed that.
Swallowed it or got
Yeah,
aspirated.
like that.
Aspirated it.
Yeah, like that's just,
That would be
you
worse.
know, but I was just young, stupid, and I don't know why. I had a lapse of judgment, and
Yeah.
it's
something we
highly
all do.
embarrassing, and
But we
I'm
all
not
do
proud
that.
of it. And but it is what it is, and I never made that mistake ever again.
Exactly. Those are the ones you learn from.
Yeah, thank God it
I've
didn't turn
n-
out to be anything. But
I've never broken an instrument off until this past year.
what?
And
haven't.
Now I have broken 3 just this
Oh.
past year. I found all 3 of them, but
Thankfully.
I'll just say it was a faulty sharpener situation when we got our brand new
Oh.
instruments back. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that. You know what? Honestly, after I sharpen my instruments, that's when I find that they break.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know what it is.
We send ours off, but which I'm not going to lie, I like it. And I know this is not what just everyone cover your ears, but I like them when they're super thin, which is probably
no,
when they're the
same.
easiest. Yeah. Like super thin, like they probably shouldn't even be using them anymore, but those are the best. But each time I found it, thank goodness. But every time it happens, your heart drops for sure.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, where is it? Where is it? Oh, my God, where is it? Now
I
I'm
know.
like,
I mean, the first time I'm like, don't swallow. And then I'm like, shit, I shouldn't have even said anything.
what were, so we did put a post on RANT regarding
Yeah.
the subject. We
I
wanted to hear
just
from
read a
others.
funny one.
Nobody had any that were quite as bad as mine. So, but,
Oh, I think I just found one.
oh, okay. I want to hear it.
Okay, so it is Nicole. She said, back in the early 90s, we used to have Walkmans available in the office for patients to listen to. If you're young, a Walkman is like a CD Discman,
No.
like
Oh.
be like an iPod, your phone now that plays music.
Like an old iPod, yeah.
Yeah, except you put tapes in it. Okay, anyway. So, I can't believe you had to explain that. I feel like a dinosaur now. I know. One of the dental assistants wrote out on a piece of paper to communicate with a deaf patient, asking them if they wanted to listen to the Walkman during their procedure.
Oh my God.
But
That's awful.
having grown up with a friend whose both grandparents were deaf mutes, I can't tell you, like, they could drive and everything, like just being young and like riding in cars with them and going to eat with them, like just listening to like people just talking to them, like they could hear them.
Yeah.
It is hard sometimes. So I can get that.
I think what I just went by one that when she was an assistant, she grabbed the wrong wax try-in, and the
Oh.
Oh,
doctor
no.
the doctor was like trying to put it in the patient's mouth and it wasn't working out, and the doctor was like mad at the lab because how could the lab be so off?
Oh, my God.
So that not only screwed up one case, but two. Well, that's what Gina, I was just reading, said, that she forgetting to give their patient their denture back
Oh,
at the end of
man.
the day, then having to take it to their house. But honestly, I do that all the time.
Me too.
Yeah.
But it's even worse that the patient leaves without their teeth and doesn't
Yeah.
notice.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like I often wonder, like, how did you leave here without your dentures? Like, how did you
Because
not
that
know?
means they're
Like,
not using them. But
so why
yeah.
bring them?
I've
I don't
chased people
know.
down. I don't know how many times. Like they
Run
will
out to
go
the
out
parking
front
lot.
door.
Yes.
I run out the
Teeth.
back door and like waving them down as they're driving away. Your night guard.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Oh yeah, I've
I
had to
all
do
the
that.
time. I think
Thank
the second
goodness.
most common one, and I know I've done this. I did this in a working interview. My classmate and friend Megan, she posted about it because she did it while in school.
Oh
Was
yes.
taking X-rays without the
X-ray
X-ray head.
Oh, I've
Pointing-
done that.
Yeah,
Oh my
pointing at the
God.
patient.
This just made me think of a fuck up that I had in school. You know how you have to do your full mouth series competencies?
Yes.
Yeah.
So back in the day, it wasn't digital. It was, yeah, I'm old. Okay, get over that.
Hey,
it was
me too.
it was the real film, the classic film that you had to go back in the dark room and put in the little developer or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't know what possessed me. Because that was a whole process where you take out the film out of the thing and then you change your gloves before touching anything else to put them
Yeah.
in the developer. For some
Whatever you
reason, I
say.
think there were like no gloves or anything back there. So I went out with the cup with all the film in it. It was already out of the packaging.
Oh no.
I went to be like, oh, let me go grab gloves, but I forgot I had the cup in my hand and I walk
Hand.
out.
Oh,
no.
the full mouth series.
Exposed my entire FMX to, it was unsalvageable. I was so upset. I actually started crying because it was
Girl,
like the
I'm,
end
like,
of the
almost in
semester
tears
and I
for
needed the
you.
competency.
Yes.
That is devastating.
Yeah, I was so upset. And then the worst part is the full mouth series that I took was on a friend or coworker, an older lady that had like thyroid cancer recently. And I'm like sitting there like, I just exposed this poor girl to all this radiation for no freaking
nothing.
reason.
Oh my.
And then I had to tell her. I was so upset. That was a big fuck up too. Sorry.
Well, it's quite common, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's different when it's
I miss dark
digital.
rooms.
If
Yeah.
it's digital, it's just like, oh, oops. I'm
Sorry, got to
dumbass.
retake
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
not a big deal.
Yeah, I've done that many times, more times than I'd like to admit.
Yeah.
Another one was like calling your patient and then they coming back, but it was the wrong Bob because there was 2 Bobs.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
happened to me a million times.
But I don't
where-
really find that as a mistake. Like, I feel like that's the patient's.
No, I've gone out and called Bob, and Jared comes back. And then
Not
sits in the
Jared.
chair. And then I give him
Okay.
his treatment plan, and I'm talking to him, and blah, blah, blah. And then I'm looking at the age, and I'm like, you don't look 60. I'm like, you look great for your age.
Yes,
like,
that's
"Oh,
how I'm.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a minute. What's your date of birth? Wait, what's your name?
Yes.
I'm like, why did you? I said Bob, but why are you here, Derek? What are you doing? Like,
Derek, you said Jared.
You said
Oh,
Jared, and I was
Jared,
like
whatever.
Derek.
Sorry,
so
whatever.
Okay, so this reminds me. It wasn't me, but the people I work with. I love you, Brooke, our hygiene assistant. I don't know, we're all about the same age, and there was a big thing called Hooked on Phonics worked for me.
Oh,
Remember
yeah,
that?
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, so for kids that had trouble, they could do Hooked on Phonics. So what is it?
Phonetic.
Phonetically, you could
Phonetics.
speak.
You're
So,
like phonetically.
no, phenomenon. No.
Something
Okay.
like a phenomenon.
She goes out to get, okay, so this one maybe I can see. Patient's name is Angelica. She goes out, Angelica. But the worst part of that, actually the funniest part was Angelica just gets right on up and she knew.
Yeah, I mean, that's
So it
pretty
happens all
like
the time.
common. Yeah. mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about Barbara?
Barbera, she said. Please don't tell me she said Barbera.
Yes.
Shut up.
She went out and asked for Barbera.
Hannah Barbera?
Actually, no. She left a voicemail for the patient. Hi, I'm looking for Barbera.
Oh my
Who
gosh.
says that? All right, my assistant called Jesus. Goes down to
Jesus.
the waiting room and screams, Jesus!
Oh my God.
Jesus!
No
And I'm
way.
like, what are you doing? It's Jesus.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Oh my God. That's so embarrassing.
Yes.
I've
I
had the
don't
wrong
know.
patient pulled up. Like when they come back,
yeah.
I'll have the wrong patient
Uh-huh.
pulled up and like I sit down and perio chart and I start perio chart and I'm like, this is like what happened to your mouth in the last 6 months? Have
I've
you
done
been
that.
chewing on gravel? Like this is so off. And
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
what is going on? And then like I'll figure
And I'm
it
like,
out.
wait, these
oh.
aren't yours.
And then I make an excuse. I'm like, oh, just a second. Hang on, my computer froze. And I like stand up and like pull up the right person.
Yeah. Always blame it on technology.
Always blame it on technology. Even if my
Um,
x-ray looks bad, if I take an x-ray and it does not look good, I'm like, oh, I need to take that one again. My computer
You
froze up.
moved. No, you moved. I blame it on them. You didn't stay still. Got to take it over.
Here's
Oh my gosh.
here's Angie. Years ago, I had a patient who spilled his heart to me about his cocaine addiction and recovery while I was going over his medical history.
I didn't
During the
read this.
doctor exam, he was telling about some sensitive areas he had. Back when we used to use Copalite on areas of recession that were sensitive. My dumbass leans over and asks the doctor if he wants me to apply some cocaine to the sensitive area. instead of
That actually
Copalite.
would numb it. That would numb it.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, it would work.
It would
but
work.
I thought she was going to say instead of lidocaine, she said cocaine, but I could still
Oh,
see that.
That's
Copalite.
funny.
Yeah.
Oh, I
As
would
soon
wanna
as it
call
came out,
him.
I have said because I always do like a certain order, upper, right to left, and back. So I would finish the top and say, all right, I'm all done with the top. Now I'm going to clean your bottom.
Ew.
Teeth. Yeah. That has been embarrassing sometimes. That's when you learn not to say again.
Yeah.
But I think we've
And-
all been there. I didn't hear any
Nothing atrocious. Nothing like
Yeah.
that terrible, I don't
oh,
think.
there's my Rita. Yes.
I think maybe some people didn't want to admit like some of the big mistakes.
Yeah, and then here I am on air being like, I'll bear it all. I don't care.
No.
Oopsie. Sorry.
No.
This is
I mean,
Julie says, when I was a brand new grad, I tried to take bite wings on a patient that had full upper denture.
I've done that.
oh, I've done
I've done that. Yeah, I've done that. And then
Yeah. All the
I did even worse. I didn't realize they had an upper denture. And I was like polishing, and I'm like, why do these teeth look like this? And I'm like, oh my God, they have a denture. I didn't even I'm like trying to scale. No, I'm kidding. I didn't try to scale. I
Oh,
didn't get that far. But I was trying to polish the denture, and I'm like, why do these teeth look strange?
have you ever
Listen
tried
says, years
to?
ago, I picked up a partial denture to put in the ultrasonic and somehow got the prong caught on my glove and it shot across the room.
Oh, at least it didn't fall in the bath by itself.
She said it
No.
hit the floor and her stomach dropped, and she was praying with every ounce of her being that it didn't break. And thankfully, it didn't. And the elderly patient
Oh.
had no idea.
Oh my God.
Ooh, yeah. my
Imagine if
heart-
it fell in the ultrasonic bath, though. Like, what do you do
Just
at
the
that
visual
point?
of it being slingshotted across
Yeah.
the room.
I know. Yeah, I would rather it
That's
drop into
amazing.
an ultrasonic than break.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Rita. I used to work with her until she retired and left me. But yes, that was a joke. She would say the other 27 or the other 22.
Yeah.
There's other
Oh.
things I'll say that Rita said, but I won't share those on air.
Don't be calling your friends out on air.
I don't know.
You know, I did something dumb. I went to the dentist. I can't believe I did this. I went to the dentist this week. Thank God this wasn't on a patient and this was on myself. I went to the dentist last week. I went to my dentist to get my new Invisalign trays. And the top one, popped it in. It fit fine, fit great. The bottom one put in, I was like, this feels weird. Like it's not seating all the way. It feels tight. It feels strange. Like it's sitting really high. And so I'm like, what is going on? So my friend went to get me one of the chewy things. And so I'm chewing on it, like trying to get this thing to like pop down. And it won't. And so she's like, well, pop it out and give it to me. So I did. So I do. I pop it out and give it to her. And she's like, girl, there's 2 trays here. You like put the tray on top of the other tray.
Oh, I do that with. Yeah. Oh my God. I do that with my loops and my glasses. I'll
I've
try to
done
put my
that.
loops on with my glasses still on. I'm like, oh, I guess I really needed to see, huh?
Oh my gosh.
I
So
don't
glad that
know.
she's a friend of mine because I felt really stupid. Like laughing at myself. Anyway.
Well, that was all good, but nothing juicy.
Anything else like on the post? Did we get anything else that was like juicy?
No,
Nothing
I was
juicy?
like waiting for like some really juicy stuff. Like,
Yeah, I wanted like a bomb to drop, yo.
I know.
There
Guess
was
we're
one that
all-
I remember
We're
like
all ethical, so that's good. That means we're ethical.
No, I'm
Yeah.
not, apparently.
but it's
Nope.
still
But
I mean, it's still kind of like when you mess up, this is so like people are so quick to sue, right? So when you
Yeah.
mess up, you're like, "Oh my God, did I really really fuck up?" I mean, mess up. Sorry. Pardon my French. Oh, this one was I was like I actually like wow reacted this one. Jan said at her first job she left the master switch on all night and the office below got
Oh.
flooded. And they had to
Oh,
replace
God.
the carpet and everything else and that was like 24 years ago.
That's when you
Oh
say
my
that it wasn't me. I don't know who left it
I
on.
don't know.
I have
was outta
no
here.
idea who did that. It wasn't me.
Anna
Brenda.
Anna does the shaggy defense like all the time.
Yeah,
It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
You just blame it on Brenda. Brenda was the last one out of the
Yeah.
office.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Brenda, Linda. All right. Well, we all
Yeah,
make
that's all we got
mistakes.
today, I think.
So,
Thanks for listening, everyone. If you are not an RDH rant, feel free to join the group, but it's for RDHs only. You can also find us on TikTok, Instagram, and where else, Liz?
that's all.
That's it,
Yeah,
right?
I
TikTok
can't
and
keep up
Instagram.
with Facebook,
I know.
Instagram.
I know, it's a lot.
Yeah. So we're
Yeah.
Facebook,
TikTok.
Instagram, TikTok, Instagram,
Our
and TikTok. We
houses.
are public. Whoever wants to follow
Yeah.
us can. The Facebook group where all the action happens is private. You have to be RDH to get in, and we do verify your license.
Yeah.
All
Time
right.
for us to sign off. Time for you to floss off. Love, peace, and brush your teeth. Bye.
Bye.